Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have John Danes on the line. He's co-founder and CEO over at Leadjolt. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adam. Thanks so much for having me, man. Great to connect.
All right, John. So I'm excited to get into today's topic. So marketing for real estate agents. I know there's a lot of them listening, looking for tools, looking for resources. Excited to get your tips on that. But before we do, let's go a little bit further into what you're doing over at Leadjolt. Tell us a little bit more about your company, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So at Leadjolt, we help real estate agents generate an extra 20 appointments and 5 deals under contract on a month-to-month basis. And we built out a system to do that on demand.
Fantastic. And I think that's a really big deal what you're doing. And at the end of this, I'm going to give the audience, and I'll give you an opportunity to leave your website, social media, wherever people can find you and learn more about Leadjolt. But I want to make sure that the right types of individuals connect with you, or the right types of real estate agents. What's typically a good fit?
Absolutely. So, we like to say that we work with real estate agents of all shapes and sizes, if you will. I've brought on clients that are 2 weeks in the business, very, very fresh. And then I've brought on clients that are 20, 30-year veterans. So, we just help licensed agents who are looking for buyers or sellers. And what we found is most agents, regardless of how long they've been in the business or their experience level, are spending most of their time generating leads, going to networking events, doing sphere of influence, and all these other things that they're told are valuable uses of their time. And, real estate agents are an industry where you have to juggle a million different things at once. So we kind of help agents build that leverage in their business and, use our system. So what that kind of looks like is an agent comes on board, we put the system in place for them, and then they actually build leverage so they can focus on selling real estate, communicating with clients, and doing their job, and not just trying to run around and become a marketing expert, because it's unfortunately, Adam, what a lot of real estate agents are focused on, and it's the reason that they don't see the success that they want to in their business.
Man, I like how clear you are on your focus and then on helping your niche. I always find that like the companies that really hone in on their niche, I mean, they just a lot of times have the best results for their clients just because they're living it day in and day out. And that's why I'm excited to go further into this topic with you, marketing for real estate agents, because that's what you're doing every single day. You're helping people generate appointments and helping them, drive business and relationships. So to get us kicked off, I know this is going to change, from person to person, obviously size of practice, experience in the business, but as long as you've been in the industry, I know you like certain types of themes tend to arise like over and over and over again. What are some of those common things that you just see agents doing wrong like pretty often?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's this term that a lot of people inside the real estate space know, and it's called your sphere of influence. And it's basically what is praised in the real estate realms as the number one way to become a successful and wealthy real estate agent. And I have some thoughts on that we'll circle back to in just a second, but I want to quickly tell my story in the next 30 to 60 seconds about how I kind of got involved with this, because I think it gives the listeners good context. So I worked at a health and wellness company, and one of the guys that was working there was a licensed real estate agent. We ended up breaking away from this health and wellness company, and he was like, let's go start a real estate team. So I said, okay, sounds great. Sounds like something I'd be interested in. I've seen a lot of real estate agents that do very well. I think this is something I could be good at. So while I'm studying for my real estate exam, I'm doing all the traditional real estate lead generation, which is cold calling, sphere of influence, going to networking events, and even door knocking and handing out flyers. And in about 3 months, even though I wasn't licensed yet, we generated a whopping 0 appointments. So from the ground up, I saw how many real estate agents, whether they were brand new or whether they were super experienced, were spending so much time on these processes in their business. So most real estate agents are trying to build a sphere of influence, meaning like referrals and friends and family and stuff, before they even have a solidified client base. So meaning they haven't done any transactions yet. They don't really have a reputation for themselves yet, but they're going around trying to get friends and family to work with them and other strangers and stuff. And it's truly a lot of outbound and a lot of time spent. And not to say that you can't generate a good amount of business as a new agent or as somebody that hasn't done any transactions yet, but the nature of the sphere of influence is you get referrals from past clients. So Adam, let's say I'm a real estate agent. You and I work together. We have an awesome experience. I help list your house for way above market, and you're super happy with me. You go out and tell 2 or 3 friends about how great I am, and then I end up working with those people, which is a very scalable way to grow your business, how a lot of real estate agents do it. But the thing is, a lot of agents are trying to deploy this strategy before they find their Adam or before they find a couple other clients that they can work with. So I'd say that's the biggest thing is a lot of real estate agents are trying to build this without having a base, and they're spending a lot of time doing exactly what every other real estate agent is doing. So a lot of them, for example, call expired listings or call for sale by owner properties. And you have to think about how impatient these people are, meaning the people that own the expired listings or the people that are selling their house by themselves, because they're being called by every single other real estate agent. So what we kind of help agents do is not only make a lot more money, but build that differentiation and build that book, if you will, of clients that they're going to be able to produce referrals with and work with for long term and for a lifetime, so they can actually build a wildly profitable sphere of influence and actually have clients with real lifetime value.
What is the timeline? Because I know for people that haven't, so there's a lot of, there's some new people that are maybe just getting their license, and then there's also, people that have been in the industry for a long time and they're very successful, and they've thought about adding on some other things because, they're successful for a reason. They're always thinking about ways to improve, right? So what's the timeline to get set up with your company? And I don't mean to get results. I just mean to get set up and to implement a process, because the last thing anybody wants, like you said, they're juggling a million things, right? So what does that look like onboarding?
Yeah, absolutely. So in most markets that we're working in, especially with a lot of the U.S. markets, are super, super hot right now, meaning some of these markets, 2, 3, 4 homes a day are being sold. So my goal is when a client comes on with me, I want them to get a chunk of that business as soon as possible because transactions are going to be happening. So we pride ourselves in a super quick launch period. Not a lot of the time. Every single time it's under 5 days. Sometimes it's less than 3, meaning client comes on board, they're onboarded, they say, I want to get going with Leadjolt, to ads are up, appointments are coming in, they're getting business. So we pride ourselves in a really quick launch, and I think it's one thing that's made us very different. And it's not like all of our clients are set up with a cookie cutter process, like a home search site or something like that, like a lot of my competitors. We give our clients a custom tailored towards them, exactly what's going to work in their market, their price point, whether they're looking for buyers or whether they're looking for sellers, and we still have a super quick launch. So less than 5 days is average, but a lot of times it's going to be less than 3.
Man, that's amazing. I love it because that's the main thing. I feel like people sometimes want to get started with something. They're like, oh, it's just another thing. Let me put it on my list. But this becomes really interesting because it's something that's implementable. It's something that you're doing. You've been working with a lot of people. You have a really defined niche, and you have a process because you got to have a process. If you didn't have a process, then there's no way no way you're going to get somebody launched on any product within a week. It just doesn't happen like that. So I love to hear the quick turnaround, and that's kind of how for anybody listening, if you're shopping for a certain type of service or thing like that, like those are some of the things you want to look for. You want to look for somebody that has a really defined niche, somebody that, you know, if you say you can do everything, then that scares me. So I love that you really have a focused market, niche, and process behind what you're doing and your methodologies. What kind of feedback have you gotten on this? So like working with agents in different markets, does it work for like, you know, smaller towns, does it work for your bigger cities, or is it just really, because as you mentioned, it's custom, that you can really kind of tailor something to mostly any market out there?
Yeah, absolutely. We can really tailor in every market. And the cool thing is we've got a chance to work with about 180 agents since February and worked in all 50 states. And what we've found is the results don't really vary market by market. And the cool thing is, depending on price point, you know, the only difference is like one of my clients in Texas is going to have to sell 2 or 3 homes to make the same amount as maybe one of my clients in a more luxury area, say where I live. Yeah, exactly. So that's really the only difference, but the economics come out the exact same way due to the fact that, you know, there's more people that are buying in a market like Texas where the real estate's a little cheaper. It's a little bit easier to scrap together the resources to buy a home than it is in, say, a market like LA. But we've really made this thing work everywhere, and that's been the cool thing about not being cookie cutter, is because we're building this one-on-one or kind of in the corner with our clients and getting live market feedback. So we've been able to figure out exactly what works in what markets and, you know, basically have a client come on board and get the exact same results and literally show them, hey, this is we call them comparable markets. So say I'm in Roy, Utah. There's a 500,000 population. The average home price is 400,000. Then I talk to a client who's, let's say, in Springfield, Missouri. Same population, same average price point. What's working for my client in Roy, Utah is always full stop going to work for my client in Springfield, Missouri, because they're selling the exact same style home, meaning price point, and there's the exact same population. So we kind of have what we call our markets comparable. So we can take, okay, here's what worked for John over here. This is what's going to work for Adam over here because they're in such similar markets.
Man, that's exciting. I love it. So John, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Leadjolt or they want to connect with you and your team, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Absolutely. The best way you're going to get all of your questions answered and all the information, you know, what we call the meat and potatoes, is going to be to jump on a call with us. It's a short call where we can basically walk you through everything that we would put in place for you and see how things line up and see if there's a fit, which you would do at leadjolt.com, LEADJOLT.com. If you're not quite ready for a call yet or you still want to see some more information, I know we've only got to chat and people have only got to hear me for 10 or 15 minutes, that's totally cool. We have case studies, we have results, more resources on the website that you can check out, and there's a lot of articles and things. We're pretty easy to find on the internet. It's just LEADJOLT.com, and that's where you can either book a consultation, check out some case studies, or kind of get all the information that you'd be looking to if you're a real estate agent who's maybe in the market for this kind of thing.
Fantastic. Well, John, really been awesome having you on the show today. Appreciate you coming on and sharing all the great work that you're doing for our real estate agents out there. For everybody listening, if you're out there, you're a real estate agent, man, go check it out, Leadjolt. It's definitely one of those things that you have to explore. If you're doing things right now the way you've been doing them and you're not satisfied with your results, you definitely got 100%. You need to think of doing something new because your business results aren't just going to magically change. You have to switch things up, whether you're in real estate or if you're in any business. Really, like you're going to have to make some tweaks. You're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to look for other resources out there. So, again, definitely go check out Leadjolt if you're in the market for that. And if this is your first time listening with us, definitely hit that subscribe button. We want you to be a return listener. We want you to get more resources. We want to continue the dialogue. And if you're watching on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, give us a subscribe there and leave us some comments on the video. I'd love to continue the conversation and engage with you and interact on that YouTube community. It's a lot of fun over there. And John, thanks again for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks again for having me, Adam. Talk soon.